everybody. Just getting ready to begin with our live stream again from the Spirited Art Studio online. And so welcome, and please let me know as you arrive and say hello. Just want to give people time to check in. So while I'm waiting, I just wanted to tell you that if you're interested in contributing your art and thoughts to the art studio, but you prefer not to make comments online or on Facebook, or if you're live streaming through the RWUC website and you're not able to make feedback or comments, I just want to welcome you to use this email address and send me email. So I just thought I would put this up. Pardon my printing, but this is an art studio, and so it's big and colorful. So this is the Spirited Art Studio, and you can contact me by email. The Spirited Art Studio at rwuc.org. And I forgot that it would be backwards on the broadcast. So I'm sorry about that. So I will just post it in the comments later. Actually, might even be able to do that right now. Yeah, I think I can do that right now. So my email address is spiritedart@rwuc.org. So, there you go. Hi Christina and hi Jane. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining in. So, again, if you'd like to contact me directly by email, the email address is in the comments below. I'm Laura, and I did a previous live stream on Monday evening. So the Spirited Art Studio, because of the present circumstances with us having to stay at home, I've decided to go online with our art studio so that we can stay connected. So I was looking in my email and to invite everybody to join us online, and noticing that there's about 40 to 45 people who have been in the Spirited Art Studio in the last year, who are on my contact list. So I think it's an important thing to just try and continue going and just to stay in contact. I know there's so many different courses out there. There's so many different things we could be doing online just to keep ourselves occupied and interested, and staying creative. There's lots of creative courses. There's lots of ways to stay healthy. There's wellness, exercise programs. It's almost overwhelming, all the different things you can do, but it's all about keeping a balance as usual. But this is really mostly about just connecting with each other. So hi again, and I'm really glad to see you. So on Monday night, I gave a sort of a prompt, as I do on each Monday night and Wednesday afternoon when we're in studio together, present at the church. And on Monday night it was about just collage, finding things you have around your home that might lift your spirit, and just arranging it together in a grouping, a collage of some sort. And whether you had scissors or tape or glue or whatever you had on hand, and even if you didn't have scissors, for example, you could tear things, and if you didn't have glue, you could tape things, and if you didn't have either, you could just arrange everything together on a paper in a composition and simply photograph it as it is. And then it's a very temporary collage, but that's okay, because it's mostly about the process of the creativity that is important. But regardless of that, I thought I would just show you this collage and how it came together, the one I did. So there it is, with again the print is backwards. But as you can see, I took this article about lifelong learning that I thought was really nice and positive, and I found this bright, shiny wrapping paper that I really liked, and this inspirational quote that I really love, and I can put that in the comments if you want to know what that says. And also, this is my my name tag that I use sometimes in the studio when I remember to use it. And on the back of it is just this hello. So hello everybody, I'm Laura, I'm an art therapist, and I facilitate this Spirited Art Studio. So I was showing you on Monday night this calligraphy, and it's really just using your own cursive handwriting. So basically just writing in your own plain handwriting, and then just on each of the downstrokes adding extra weight to those strokes in each letter, and that just adds some contemporary pizzazz, I guess you could say, to the writing. And so that is what we call contemporary calligraphy. So that was Monday night, and that is how it turned out. Oh, and I wanted to mention one other thing. This article that I found, it was from the Epoch Times, not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but it was just a newspaper that I get in my mailbox. And so when I was cutting out that article and gluing it down, I noticed on the back of this article was another really great positive article. It's about 9 things to do when life gets you down. So I'm just going to quickly list these off because I think they're really great ideas. So first, let the sun shine in. Open the blinds. My blind is closed right now behind me because there's otherwise too much light coming in, and I would be too dark. It would be almost like a silhouette against the blind. So I've closed that blind, but my other blinds around the house are open. So another thing is, it says is to clean something. Take 15 minutes and clean up clutter, put things away, and you'll be surprised at the positive impact you can make. So one of these days I'm going to try that. It says to get fully dressed. So this program is helping me do that. It says move your body. Anyone who exercises regularly knows the counterintuitive truth that exercise gives you energy. So instead of thinking that exercise is going to wear you down and wear you out, it gives you energy. That is very counterintuitive, but let's see if it works. Hydrate. Make sure you're drinking enough water, enough liquids. journal. Well, we've talked a lot about journaling at the Spirited Art Studio, and so a lot of us know what a positive thing that is to do. So I'm glad to see that this is in the list of the 9 things you do when life gets you down. This is again from the Epoch Times, or Epoch Times, not sure again how to pronounce it, published, and it's written by Barbara Danza, 9 things to do when life gets you down. So journaling, all of your to-dos, what-ifs, and other ideas that are swirling around in your head, get them down out on paper, and just write until you're totally out of your ideas. And then the next step you can do is take from all of those things you've written down and just begin to organize them in a list of priorities. So that is one thing to do. But another thing we can do with our journaling is just dream. Think of ideas. This is where creativity comes in, that I'm going to be talking about right away, because this is our creative spirited art studio. So the other thing is inventory your kitchen. See what, maybe rethink your grocery list. Could you maybe cut down on your carbs, add more veggies? So that's the 9th thing. And the 8th thing and the 9th is to make sure you get enough sleep and regulate your sleep rhythm. Go to bed at the same time, get up in the morning at the same time. So I just thought I'd share those things with you, because the situation, the circumstances right now, I think could be getting us down. They're getting me down, and just kind of having ups and down moments with them. And so I found this helpful, so I thought I would share it with you. See, there's some others of you who have joined me. Hi, I'm not seeing who you are right now, but I will check in later, and I'll say hello to you all later. So this particular session, I'm just going to be talking mostly about dealing with anxiety. So I'm really going to be leaning into my own issues, I could say, about anxiety, and about doing this live stream. And hi Donna, hi Shell, good to see you. So this is about leaning into fear, leaning into our anxieties, because we kind of have to be real that we have these anxieties. It's a part of who we are. And how can we do this in a more positive way? How can we really just embrace it as a part of who we are? So this is what I'm going to be discussing today, and I'm going to break it down into 3 categories. The first is going to be about mindfulness, and the second is creativity, and the third is self-compassion. Those are the 3 topics that I'm going to be talking about. However, I'm going to be overlapping and flipping from one to the other, because they are really integrated in what I like to teach about, how to have creativity and art help you to just self-regulate and help you just stay calm. So, and this is really me helping myself, because right now I need to do that myself. I'm kind of an introvert, and I'm not really crazy about having a lot of attention on myself, and doing this live broadcast is, you know, a little bit intimidating for me, but I'm just really, it's really all, hi Pam, hi Mary, good to see you, thank you for joining. So I'm, as I was saying, I'm going to be discussing some things that help us to get past some anxiety by being creative. I'm really passionate about this because I've had, you know, troubles with anxiety, I would say, for most of my life. But on the other hand, I've really been an artist, or doing art for most of my life as a way to work with, to express myself, vent things, and just get the stress out and work with it. So anyways, I'm just going to begin with what I have to share today. So I was listening to a podcast by Elizabeth Gilbert. I don't know if you know her. So yeah, this live, Mary, this is happening right now. It's live right now. So welcome. So this podcast was about creative living and living beyond fear. So this really appealed to me, so I thought, I've got to listen to this. Elizabeth Gilbert is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, so most people are very familiar with her, with that best-selling book, and also the film about the book. So I really liked her description of the creative process. She said that this creative process is sacred. It's participating in co-creation along with the creative source. So I found that was interesting and meaningful. So I just wanted to share that with you. And she later, in her podcast, she said, creativity is choosing the path of curiosity. So it's getting past the path of fear that we tend to get on, and fear, which is it's really ingrained in our brain, and it's our old reptilian brain where it's right there and it's hard to move away from. But creativity is new, it's life-giving, and once we get into a creative process, we can fall away from the fears that we may be having. And so curiosity is the way to move away from fear. So I started out with the creativity, and I'm going to move into mindfulness now. So mindfulness is really about being aware of the present moment. So I'm aware right now of my music, my background music. I hope that it's not taking up too much sound, and you can all still hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay. And but it's just something that's helping me just keep aware, in the present moment awareness. And I also have these tulips that are blooming that I enjoy. So just kind of dropping into my senses, my sight, my hearing, and noticing my breath, and just taking deeper breaths. One thing about when we're rushing around in our daily activities and we're stressed, we can go into sort of a short breathing patterns. And a way to get away from that, and I'm really simplifying mindfulness, but a way to get away from this rapid, short breathing and into a more mindful state is by simply noticing your breath and slowing it down. Hi Dad, nice to see you. Bob and Eileen, glad that you joined the program today. It's nice to see you. So mindfulness, it was brought into psychology by Jon Kabat-Zinn. So I'm just going to put his name up here. It's backwards, but it'll remind me to also put it in the comments below, and then you can check out the comment. Jon Kabat-Zinn has great YouTubes about mindfulness, what it is, and also that take you through some mindful meditative exercises that can be really soothing and relaxing, and they can just help you to just have some tools to self-regulate right in the moment. So for example, if I was stressed by traffic, I'm in a traffic jam, for example, even then I just can just go to noticing my breath and taking some deep, relaxing breaths. And just as we do that, our body sends a message to our brain that we're relaxing, we're not stressed. So rather than the rapid breathing that kind of contributes to our stress, the slowed breathing contributes to a more relaxed state. So that again is a very simplified version of one part of mindfulness. Another part of it that is really important, so awareness, slowing your breathing. Another thing that is really important is being non-judgmental of what's happening in the moment. So this helps you to just distance yourself from it and what's happening externally outside yourself, and just noticing, okay, the traffic sounds outside or I'm noticing them, but maybe I'm just going to take a breath and take a moment, and maybe I'll just put on some relaxing music. So taking time to just be less judgmental is another important part of mindfulness. So I'm just going to turn my computer on here again. And see if I can see your comments coming in. They just blanked off my screen for a section. For a moment. Okay, here you are back. So hi again. Hi everybody. So yeah, and mindfulness is defined by Kabat-Zinn, the author who I've been referring to, as the awareness that unfolds as we pay attention on purpose in this present moment. So that is the exact definition of it. So mindfulness is a part of self-compassion. So I'm just going to move on to talk about self-compassion for a moment. Mindfulness is one of the three components to self-compassion who Kristin Neff writes about. And she also has a TED Talk about it. So Kristen Neff is another author that I will, again, it's backwards, but I will add to the comments so that you can check out her YouTube on self-compassion. I have found it really useful. I tend to have, a lot of negative thoughts happening at different times when I'm trying to, for example, do this right now. Yeah, and just, so there's 3 components, as I said, and we've talked about mindfulness already. I made this art a while back, so I created a heart. You can choose any color. I chose red, but you could choose any color, or maybe not have a color, just have an outline of a heart, and then just add things to your heart that just would remind yourself to be kind to yourself. And that is the second component of self-compassion. So you could just find things around the house again, magazines, brochures, clippings, maybe even boxes, things that you find in your blue bag that you're going to be tossing out anyways, that are something that might be interesting to add to a Be Kind poster for yourself. So this is just kind of fun and just something that can be very temporary and just helpful to you in the moment. And what do we do with this when we're finished it? Well, you can just photograph it and just keep it and just refer to it when you're feeling like you need to remember self-compassion. So I have in this corner the 3 things that are important to remember as components of self-compassion. The third thing, so mindfulness, kindness to yourself. The third thing, remembering that what you're going through it's common to all humanity. So, for example, my nervousness and this public speaking, even though it's online, yeah, I'm feeling nervous. So I know that it's common to all of us. We all struggle with it as human beings. So as a part of humanity, it helps me to feel, it helps to normalize it, helps me to feel a bit better knowing that others, have the same thing that they're going through. Yeah, hi Pam, yes, recyclables, anything you've got, and anything you've got on hand that you can recycle is always good to use in your art. And as we've done in some really big projects in the Spirited Art Studio, we did some large group projects with large canvases where we all put things together on the canvas. Pardon me. So the large canvas was upcycled. It was reused. It was something that was found that was near a dumpster. I mean, it was just sitting, leaning against a dumpster, right, Pat? And so we upcycled these large canvases and made them into new art as a group, and that was something that was really, really fun. And so, yeah, thanks to Pam, we all had a great time enjoying that. And by the way, I really appreciate anybody who would like to make suggestions for this art studio now that it is going online. If you have some ideas that you'd really like us to work on, I welcome any suggestions. And again, I have the Spirited Art Studio email address in the comments, so you can copy and paste that into your browser and send me an email. So that is self-compassion. So that's integrating mindfulness, kindness to yourself, like you would be to a friend. I mean, we can be so cruel to ourselves, and our inner voice, can be just saying such cruel things like, "Oh, that's so stupid. How could you do that?" You wouldn't say that to your friend, right? So don't say that to yourself. Be a good friend to yourself. So that is kindness to self. Mindfulness, again, is just awareness, non-judgmental awareness of the present moment, slowing down your breath, being aware of the birds outside that might be singing, the sunshine streaming in, the music that you have going, the flowers and how beautiful they are, and just things. You maybe want to taste a cup of your tea. This is chai spice tea, which is my favorite. I like the spiciness of it. So now we're going to get more into creativity. Oh, but one thing I wanted to also add as a part of the self-compassion is I took an online course with Brené Brown. I don't know who of you may know who Brené Brown is. She's a great author of the book. My favorite book was The Gifts of Imperfection. So I have tendencies towards being a perfectionist, and so it was a real game changer for me. I guess that's the word, game changer, but it was a really great book for me. So then I found out that I could take an online interactive course with Brené Brown, and I was really excited about that. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that with just one page of my journal that I have from that course. So this is permission slips. So I'm also going to just put some of these things, I'm going to photograph them and post them so that they're not backwards anymore, so that you can see them. And again, I apologize that everything's backwards. But anyways, these are permission slips. Permission slips are giving us permission to, for example, be messy. Not have to keep everything perfectly neat and tidy all the time. Just allow yourself to get messy. It can always be cleaned up later, right? So it's really hard to stay keeping everything neat and organized, and at the same time be creative. So that for me was something I needed to give myself permission to be messy. So the second one is make mistakes. So I have on it, make mistakes. Oh no, crossed out, oh yeah. It's okay to make mistakes. We don't learn if we don't allow ourselves permission to make mistakes. We make our mistakes and then we move on. We improve, we get better, we learn from our mistakes. So give yourself permission to make some mistakes today. So another permission slip was to be honest. So that's this one here. It says, be honest and forgiving and caring to myself. So that may sound funny, yeah, but sometimes, we can be our own worst enemy. and not be honest and not be forgiving and not be caring to ourselves. So this is something that I'm still in the process of learning. So the fourth thing, cry. Yeah, giving yourself permission to cry. Just let it go, let it out. No matter what emotion it's expressing, it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out. Whether it might be anger, whether it might be overwhelming joy, love, whether it might be just deep sadness, or feeling deeply inspired and moved. Let's just give ourselves permission to cry. Let it out. Have a good cry. So the fifth thing, and on the flip side, I guess you would say, to crying, but not necessarily if your tears are from joy. My sister's name is Joy, by the way. Joy's probably not able to listen today because she's working during the day, but her name is Joy and I love it. So anyways, allowing ourselves to cry because we're feeling joy is great, or any emotion, as I said, but also giving ourselves permission to just laugh and have fun and, make light of the situation, even though, things are getting stressful, things are kind of getting us down, things are making us anxious, we're thinking about, our circumstances are, we're not sure about, there's so much uncertainty right now, there's so much going on that we're not sure about. But just taking time to laugh and have fun, it's a good idea. So that's another thing. Karen, hi! Nice that you're watching too. So, yeah. So lastly, and most importantly, I have written on the top of this permission slip, most importantly, take this time for me. So all of you who are watching right now, just take this time for you. Take in a deep breath. Take this time for you and think about how you can integrate these ideas into your day for some self-compassion and well-being. So, integrating mindfulness and creativity, I have a few ideas. One of them is just doodling, just taking. I like working with Sharpies. It's easy and fast, and I have just a journal that has blank pages. It's a Moleskine journal, but you can use any kind of paper or journal, a notepad, and just doodle. And I have all of these colors of Sharpies to just make patterns, and I really like doodling flowers. I have always liked doodling flowers, and I'm not sure why, except for that I think there is something very centering and grounding about flowers, because they're like mini mandalas, they're like natural mandalas, so maybe that's why, I don't know. I found out about mindfulness and mandalas and everything much later in life, and I have always liked to doodle flowers. So, very simple idea. So Pan says she really appreciated these permission slips. Pan, I'm sorry, Pan. Pan, I'm glad that you really appreciated these permission slips. It was a neat, expressive idea. Pan, I really enjoyed you being in our studio. For anybody who hasn't met Pan, Pan is an extraordinary person, and I'm really happy to have him in my studio. So, moving on. Working again with the presence of fear, leaning into it, taking a deep breath, and just taking some colors and doing some doodling. So I like using lots of colors, and I have a friend from in our Spirited Art Studio who really says his favorite color, Richard, his favorite color is the rainbow. And I agree with Richard. I love the rainbow of colors. I like that it's from the prism of the one light fractured creates all of these colors of the rainbow, and I love color theory, so I highly recommend looking into color theory when you have time. I wrote something that I just wanted to share with you in another art journal I have. This is my Andy Warhol idea book. I love this idea book. I got it at the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York. My brother Donald lives in New York, and so I'm concerned about Donald right now. But because he's lived in New York for many years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to visit him and see all the wonderful art museums in New York. And one that really stood out for me is the Museum of Modern Art, the MoMA. And this is where I found this journal, and it is really a very cool journal. Andy Warhol has his ideas throughout it, some of his interesting sketches and quotes, and then there's blank pages for you to add your ideas and your notes and your doodling. So at the end of the book, he has this really great quote that I think is my favorite in the book. You need to let little things that would ordinarily bore you suddenly thrill you. So that's really what creativity can be about, just engaging in noticing little things and that you normally would pass by and normally might find boring, and just take notice of them. For example, the colors in these tulips, and I can just get fascinated by them, and just seeing how the tulip, how the petals are formed together on the top of the stem, and how they overlap each other. And these particular tulips I really like because of the variegation in the color from red to the orange. That would be called analogous color scheme, because these colors are side by side on the color wheel. So from red to yellow, the two primary colors. Orange is the secondary color, so all the colors in between are analogous. So, and that's really what this tulip kind of demonstrates, going from red to red, orange to orange to orange, yellow, and then finally yellow. So So talking just more about color and my fascination with color, I just wanted to read you something that I wrote in this journal right at the beginning of it. It says, living life in full color. So I noticed one day something that I found really interesting, and I'm just going to share it with you because this is something I wrote in my journal. I find that when I'm just busy running around getting things done on my to-do list, I feel like I'm just seeing things in grays and black and white, not really seeing color. It is not until I sit down and really look around and take in my surroundings that I am really seeing life in full color and really enjoying and really absorbing the fullness of the color. And really see how colorful everything really is. And so then I talk about this idea book. I love this idea book. It is creative and inspiring and colorful. There are many interesting ideas. It shows the importance of recording imaginative thoughts. And I really love especially that it is so colorful. Laughter is so therapeutic. I totally agree with you, Mary. Thank you. And thank you for that link. I'm going to check that out. Thank you, everybody, as you're participating in this and giving your comments and feedback. I really love it and appreciate it. So, moving on. Let's see, what have I not covered yet? Talked about the doodling, I've talked about self-compassion, about calligraphy, about collage, 2 different methods of collage. So the one being that you can just add things together in an irregular composition. The other is, like, for example, this self-compassion, putting things together in a shape, and in this case a heart, because it's about self-compassion. So you know what? I think that this is just about it. Maybe I'll just share with you a little bit more in this journal, just for fun. So my Brené Brown journal, when I was taking the course with Brené Brown, I should say, not my Brené Brown journal, but my course with Brené Brown, the Gifts of Imperfections course, we were invited to take a photograph of ourselves with our hands up, and a hand that said, "I'm imperfect and I'm enough." So that again was something that was a game changer for me. I need to learn this. I need to learn that I am imperfect and that's okay. I am enough anyways. So that's it, I think, for today. I'm not sure how long we've been going for, but I really want to encourage you to do some doodling, do a collage in a heart, and it can be monochromatic. Everything in this heart is red, or do just a random collage of things that you find around the house that you can recycle. Remember to give your permission to yourself to go ahead and make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? Have a great day. Bye for now.